Good morning, all you folks out in YouTube land. Thrash Pondo here to bring you episode 2 of. Oh, before I bring you episode 2, or even tell you what it's episode 2 of, you know what I'm going to ask you for. Yes, like, subscribe, forward, and all those other things I asked you to do yesterday in episode 1. And now, back to the content. Yes, as I'm sure many of you who tuned in yesterday will realize that I am going to be doing an episode for episode retelling, recanting, reciting, follow along of season 5 of the hit TV series Fargo. And yesterday I brought you episode 1, absolutely loved it. Today we're going to be talking about episode 2, which I loved equally, if not a wee bit more. Yes, in this episode we see some introductions of some new characters. We see John Hamm as Sheriff Tillman, and ooh, he is a good one. He is going to be the one you love to hate. He's basically your archetypical rancher, small town sheriff, evangelical preacher. Ooh, what a scary combination. And he basically runs this small portion of North Dakota. And yeah, you guessed it. You find out over the course of the drama that Dot is actually an ex-wife of Tillman's, and he's trying to get her back for revenge. Hence the whole kidnapping and whatnot. And he makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up, by the way. He plays it almost like he's doing some type of caricaturization of former hero of mine, Mel Gibson. Just that very stoic, sanctimonious, ultra judgmental, holier than thou, condescending. Well, Mel Gibson. And again, I we got a good handle on him in this episode, but I think we're going to get an even better handle on him in future episodes. We also meet his son, Gator. I can't even say it with a straight face. Yeah, Gator Tillman, who is everything his father is not. He is loud, boisterous, puts on airs, has a false sense of accomplishment. One of those types. He was probably a real badass in high school, but now that he's playing with the big boys, he's in way over his head. And deep down, he knows it, but he's just trying to step up to the plate in the best way he knows how to. As the old saying goes, when you live amongst wolves, you should howl. He actually reminds me so much of a dude I went to college with. It's scary. He even uses some of this guy's old catchphrases. I won't say who the guy was, but if you watch the show, you know I'm talking about you. We also flesh out some other characters. I don't know if I got to really mention this in the last episode, but old favorite of mine, Dave Foley, probably best known for Kids in the Hall, which I've been a fan of for well over 30 years now. Got to see him live in Boston, or News Radio. Many of you will remember him from there. He was always your sort of slapstick comedy foil type. He's really sort of grown as an actor, and he plays Danish Graves, the lion, not the lion, yeah, the Lion's family live-in attorney, and he does an amazing job. He plays it totally straight. There's no air of comedy here. He's doing true dramatic acting. He's actually done some other dramatic acting elsewhere, and he even does documentaries now for the Vice channel. So I'm very impressed that he was able to make that transition from comedy into more serious acting. A lot of actors can't do that. He also seems to have aged very well. His hair is completely white now. He's totally lost the red. He has a mustache now. He actually reminds me astonishingly of my old grandpa Jim. Well, before the second stroke. But yes, he reminds me of my old grandfather, and I think he's actually going to become a very integral character in this episode. We also find out that the surviving kidnapper is a guy by the name, I believe his name is Munch, and he's this sort of weird, almost mystic warrior type. And we see a few episodes, examples, tidbits of his true warrior status over the course of this episode. A lot of action, a lot of drama, a lot of things very slowly unfolding. There's this pissing contest going on between Dot and her mother-in-law, again played by Jennifer Jason Lee, and both show some of their cards, but both keep cards hidden as well, by the way. And we really, we really don't know how this is all going to play out. It's like other Fargos. It's almost an operatic. They actually give an example in one of their own installments where they say it's like a souffle, where it just keeps building and building and building up to something. And it's so much fun because you get to speculate as to what that something will be. Speaking of which, I have a speculative spoiler again today. And I'm going to give you all a few seconds to cover your ears if you don't want to hear what the speculative spoiler is. And again, if I do guess right, totally unbeknownst, totally a fluke, and I'm probably wrong, but they've given some clues. And I have this weird feeling we're going to find out somewhere along the line that Sheriff Tillman and Mrs. Lyons, the matriarch, not Dot, but the one who is the billionaire, unscrupulous businesswoman type. I have this weird feeling that their operations are somehow entwined, and maybe they don't even realize it because they have go-betweens that sort of, you know, maintain culpable deniability. But I can't help but think we're going to find out somewhere along the line that the two are, shall we say, in cahoots. And I don't know if Dot will be simplified by this equation or if she will complicate things. But we'll just say poor Dot. Well, again, this whole thing. So again, it ends. The last episode ends with her escaping the kidnapping. In episode two, she goes home and she's just denying everything. It's so slick, by the way, because you'd think she'd be like trying to get the heat off, she would come forward, but no, no, no. If she starts telling everybody, particularly the police, what's going on, it will uncover truths that she doesn't want uncovered. So her best course of action is to just pretend none of it happened. It's almost a love letter to codependency, but that's another story. The problem is, so much of it is out in the open that she can deny it as much as she wants, but everyone kind of knows what's going on. Oh, also, there's two police. I believe their names were Joaquim and Mayer. And they're going to be your typical flies in the ointment. The sort of out of town cops who are digging for purposes in their own right, but somehow manage to do nothing more than rock the apple cart. Hopefully with positive results. Although, when you watch Fargo, you really can't expect a happy ending now, can you? But anyway, we're two for two. See you in episode two. Love it. I'm going to try like the Dickens to bring you episode three by tomorrow. So by next week, I can be completely caught up. But anyway, if you haven't seen episode two, see episode two. See episode one first, if you haven't, of course. Oh, and while I'm at it, I'm finally getting to watch the first installment, Fargo season one, with Billy Bob Thornton, which I have never had a chance to see. I'm not going to say a word about that right now because what I might do is after I watch the entire thing, I might do a show on that. But again, let's not put the horse before the other horse. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Be good, be safe, be careful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Peace.